Coming to a very special place. Woo! What's up, guys? Welcome to one of the most special places in the entire world. We have traveled from Missouri all the way to Northern Ireland to just outside the town of Limavady to Seating Matters. By the end of this video, you will see enough value that even if you're not in manufacturing, this is one of the most well-run and best companies in the world to try to learn from. And that's one of the main reasons we're here. But the biggest thing that sets them apart is their culture. They, last Monday and Tuesday, just hosted the 2023 Lean Summit. And it was epic, just absolutely endless positivity. But this is one of the best places. If you are in the UK or you're in Europe, or you can find it in your budget to bring yourself and your team over here, I'd absolutely give it a shot. It is a world-class facility. We're gonna take you for a tour right now. What's up, guys? Post-editing, it's my day off. I'm sorry, but I was editing, and this is very important. You're gonna hear me say the term fishbone multiple times, and this is what I mean when I say this. So keep this in mind before you're gonna see the factory tour. People automatically usually can understand what an assembly line is. And when you think of an assembly line, right, you got the wheels, you got your conveyor belt, the product is moving this way, and slowly stuff is happening to that assembly line. But that's not real. That's a very linear thing. What's really going on is a fishbone. You have one major assembly line, but then you've got little things going on all at once. And those are little assembly lines that then meet in the spine of the fish, and that's the fishbone. So we'll get more into that later. All right, so the foam. We got the foam up here. All the foam is packed in kits, and it heads down the fishbone. All right, now you've got the cut and sew. They're gonna cut the final, and then that is then gonna be sewn here. So it's cut, it's sewn, and it's flowing to the center of the fishbone. Then you have the wood frame, which is not seen here, and then after the wood makes it there, it's foamed and glued. And then here it's upholstered. And then after it's upholstered, it goes to frame assembly. Fishbone is an incredibly important thing, and it's a way to visualize how your company does business. Yes, people understand assembly line linearly, but that's not really what's going on in all of our companies. What's going on is you have these multiple things that don't really matter from a timing perspective, and you need to be aware of and track them. So if you don't have a fishbone schematic of your company and your product line, I'd certainly grab you, your management team, sit down and kind of come up with a rough draft of what that looks like, because it's super critical. And again, Seating Matters is one of the best places in the world where they're making use of 3D space in their factory to get their fishbone to happen. All right, guys, back to the video. All right, when you first get here, you're gonna need to check in at reception. Right through reception, you've got your accounts department, accounting. That's the accounting department for other folks. And this has changed so many times. Of course, they have the Kanban here. Right in there, you already have a lot of lean standards, labels, you have safety plans, and then straight into their office here. This company is one of the best examples of fishbone production in the world. And I'm gonna be showing you how they do it. And they basically were giving them all kinds of pointers and ideas. So all of this is subject to change, but the concept is still the same. Work is starting in raw material form, connect the work, flow, 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 boom. It all comes together because you have different cycle times that have different beginning processes before they meet. Everything meets in the middle, all right? Now imagine this whole factory is set up like this L shape. Everything's flowing this way towards the center, or flowing this way towards the center, and then from there, it then flows outward, and you're gonna see that right now. So we're gonna start from one of the tails, which is the sewing department. Or just left the office, so we're right through here to the Gemba. This is the back end, the tail end of the line. So we're gonna start from kind of up top. This is a very interesting place, and all of this is subject to change because right after the event, we had Mr. Omamura and Mr. Amazawa, who came and redid all of this. So this is a two-bin system they have up here. And from what I understand, everything you're looking at is completely going away, and they're gonna be batched in kits. And they're gonna pick and pack, and they're gonna Kanban the kits for exactly what they need for the day. But right now, while this still is the case, a very interesting thing is the kits are picked and packed, and then they're shoved down this chute into a fishbone. Well, actually directly below us is the sewing department, and they are sewing, and then they're making their way this way as well, which is just absolutely incredible. As you can see, the two are meeting here, and they're making their way to upholstery, which takes place right there. And that's final assembly. So you have an incredible use of vertical space, where you have space coming down and across. And we're gonna see more of that here right now. All right, so we're in the sewing department. And they had the cutting department's right there. They'll flow into here to be sewn. There's tons of improvements, but look how well everything is labeled again. So if anyone takes a tool, which they shouldn't, it'll make its way back to the rightful owner. It'll flow right out through here. Into the order kits, which will then flow out this way towards production. All the way down to upholstery. How's it going, guys?
Yeah, good.
Doing great. Chris, how's it doing?
Good morning.
Good to see you again.
You're still here?
Yeah, still. You guys can't get rid of me. You've got vertical stuff coming down. You've got sewing coming this way. Looks like the last little bit of frame assembly is being made for the wood. So there's 5 or 6 things just impacting right here. So this is really an assembly area right where everything's coming together. Incredible. So you have CNC wood frame that slides down here, rejoins. It's made in a U-shaped cell right there. They're pulling the foam from up top that we just saw. Now this is probably going to start arriving in kit form, very similar to that, on order from their previous vendor, which is another company that is owned. So they have a spray foam, spray glue station as well. So all of that's flowing, boom, hits right here. Again, by kit form. And then you have another process here. Here's the fishbone. Boom, fishbone comes in. The fluff goes into the pillow making machine that then stuffs the pillow. Boom, right over here. The upholsterer is being finished. And then all of that, boom, right back to the line. And you'll notice that nothing here is bolted down. Everything's on wheels. The entire facility is movable within minutes. Even this big machine on wheels. And bam, right here. Now what's going on here? This is where 2 of the biggest frame versus the cushion parts meet. And so we'll actually go across the factory where the other side of the fish comes in. But all of this is working its way down slowly to here, and then bam. This is final assembly. When that's completed, this whole frame will move down where they have more parts coming in. They're doing the packing, labeling, all that last bit of information. So we'll get to that here in a second. This is a very special area. It's a special area because this is where all their vendors and their Kanban is. You have a factory this size. How do you keep from running out of stuff? Well, there's a very unique system to that. But I want to share this with you. There's currently a gentleman over there, right here somewhere on this board. And these are the vendors that show up often. And on their own, the Seedings Matters folk grabbed everybody and they took their photos, they put them on the wall. So they put a face to the name, you knew what company they worked with. And then they actually have this for more than just the delivery drivers. They have it for every one of their vendors. These are the people they see the most. And the Kanban area as well. So there's a series of Kanban collection points across the facility. And there's 2 to 3 times a day, you can see a Kanban right there. That is material inventory stock, that green card up there by that red thing. You can see that one of them here is missing. Well, that has worked its way over to this station and eventually to this Kanban's to order. And this pull system is, they'll pull from here, Kanban's to order, move it over, order it right then and there, and then it'll come over to ordered Kanbans and it'll be waiting. So this means that this part has been ordered and it's waiting to come in. And this is week 1, week 2, week 3. This is all the metal work and everything. So raw materials comes in here And they've got, again, boom, you have Kanban cards, excellent labeling on everything. Kanban stock. They pull everything off. You can take a look right here. This is a Kanban that's designed, once you pull these off, that will actually fall on the ground. And so it'll make a loud clank, and so you trigger the Kanban. And that Kanban is to take it to a Kanban collection point. So they can order more of this. The reason it's up here is because there's enough safety stock that they can keep their normal operation while they order more and wait for more to come in. And so that's the bulk of it. You'll even see there's a Kanban card here for a tag and one there as well. So when they need to use it, they'll pull that. So around this corner, you've got people pulling from the racks down to here. And this is where the beginning of the life of the chair frames come in. So they're going to pick it up and it's going to go into the laser cutter machine. From the laser cutter machine, they constantly are checking it. They check the first part. The defect or the discarded waste goes into this bin right here. And then from here, so as orders come through, there's about 2 days of safety stock, I believe they said, is over there. This will then be picked and packed into the grocery aisle. They'll go this way. Into the welding section. So as it comes out there, it'll hit these tables that are the welding jigs, and they'll be pushed in there for welding. And of course, they have these incredible moves here where these spin. So the welder stays in one spot, and this will spin. This is all created by them themselves, by the workforce, by the employees, because they're engaged. As that goes down, looks like there's a pressure washing station, and then powder coating that then moves its way into the oven. Over here, onto these racks where they're powder coated, coming out. So that's another end of the fishbone. Over here, you have the woodworking station. You have the raw blanks that then go on the CNC router right over there, which are then loaded up there, which are then kitted, make their way down again in this way, right before frame assembly. All right, we are here with Ryan Tierney. If you know me and don't know him, then you're wrong. You go check him out. He's the operations manager. There's 3 brothers that run the store along with their mother.
Yep.
Or the whole operation. And these are the ops guys, so I connect the most with him with the similar struggles. Ryan was just telling me about all the things he learned from Mr. Umemura and Mr. Amazawa.
Yeah, so basically we're talking about the foam kitting upstairs. So we're going to move it down. I move it down to our foam factory and kit up here. But they were saying to do 5 deliveries per day. I thought it was wasteful. I thought start with 1, then go to 2, then go to 3.
Right.
But they're like, no, start with the hardest first. Start with 5. If you can't do that, maybe go to 4.
Right.
But
because you're going to develop the bad habits around trying to make one work, and then all your new processes around that.
Yeah, that's right.
So really, it's going to be more working with your vendor, which you own.
Yeah.
And your vendor is going to be doing the picking and delivering.
Deliver in the store 5 times a day.
Wow, that's huge.
Seems like a lot of driving up and down the road, but we're going to test it and see how it works.
Have you thought of using an electric vehicle? Because the cost is almost nil. For me, we had, my car was $250 per month in fuel prices, and our fuel is significantly cheaper in the US.
Yeah.
And it went to $30 for electricity. And so, for the same amount of driving.
Yeah.
And so, a small electric vehicle that or even it tows a little trailer or something.
Yeah. Something nice and nippy and small. And
because you need only a little bit. Because if you're kidding 5 times a day.
It's only like, what is it, like 4
chairs?
Yeah.
I mean, you could probably get a used Model 3 or something.
Yeah.
There's 4 at a time.
That's 1 chair there, so 4 isn't big enough.
Yeah. So 1 chair's there. So any normal vehicle could do it. with no extra
Yeah.
anything. Wow.
That's a good idea.
All right, this is one of the most iconic things that I think about when I think about Senior Matters is the use of Kirikuri. Can you explain that and explain what this is?
Karakuri. So it's automation without power, so it just kind of runs on its own.
So using gravity, you put the stuff here and it automatically feeds that way.
Yeah. Because gravity's free.
But the Japanese came and they said, well,
We thought this was good, but Mr. Amazawa and Lucas from Fastcap as well was saying, you shouldn't be proud of this. We call this a hotel. So if you think about a hotel, what do you want to do? You want to fill all the rooms because there's this big, huge hotel.
Right.
You've got all the space. So as soon as he seen this, he says, "Oh, big hotel, big hotel." But look, it just allows for all this overproduction, and it allows for a huge whip. So what we're going to do is reduce this away down, make this like half the size.
right, because all of this is just begging for you to continue to do batch work.
It's just like empty hotel rooms saying, "Please stay here."
Right.
Fill it up because the space is here.
Now, if this were gone,
Yeah.
I think you could get your wood cutting machine here.
Possibly, yeah.
I don't know about the height, but if that operation directly fed this operation, you could feed it with the back end of one of these.
Yeah.
Or carts. So what are you going to do instead? So you're just going to make it shorter? That's step one.
We're going to make it shorter, but direct it that way too. So it's going to go straight into the sewing room, and then the water spider is going to lift the box and set it. This is another big thing. I'm jumping about here, but Mr. Amazawa said we're doing too much one-piece flow. Too much. I'll just explain.
So it's stop and go. You're not connecting the work.
Yeah. So if you look at this chair, for example.
There's a kit. Again, everything needed to make this chair.
Yep. So I'll just, Alexa, turn off. So Beverly maybe does the arms, Madeline maybe does the wings, Tracy might come and take the back, and the chair kind of goes 5 different ways, and then comes back to the box again. Mr. Amazawa said that's too much one-piece flow. That's not correct.
A lot of the motion.
Too much motion. So he says one chair to one person. So we don't know. We haven't tried it yet, but
Yeah.
What he was saying is this complete chair.
Yes.
We're just on a video. We're doing a video here, but Mr. Amazawa was saying, for example,
Yes.
you leave the complete chair here.
Yep. You make everything right here.
Beverly sews it and puts the finished one here, and then the chute goes straight to the front of the room like a conveyor
Right.
chute. So Beverly never has to get up.
Right.
We don't know. We have to test it, and see what everybody here thinks.
We did that on the China side. And so
Right.
we had people kit it from there. The folks who would handle that. They'd kit it to here. There was only one small defect, and it really wasn't, it was a motion defect. We had double stitching. That was just a part of our process.
Yeah.
So for our double stitcher, they'd sew, stand, go to the double stitcher,
All right.
come back,
Yes.
and then it would complete. And we actually gave our folks 2 sewers and they sewed in pods. Instead of changing the thread each time, we had them in a swivel chair, so they just rotated. So it was a U-shaped cell or
yes.
an L-shaped cell. While it was technically the same chair, you couldn't ever plan for it.
Yeah. Call this a hotel as well.
Right.